Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. As you can see from the title, today's video I'm going to be talking about my breastfeeding journey. Ooh, sorry guys, gotta adjust my boobs. Anyway, yes, I will be talking about my breastfeeding journey. My baby, who is now 5 months as of Saturday, has been exclusively breastfed ever since he was a baby. So today I'm going to be sharing about how that was. Wow, it has not been easy. It has been a struggle, but I am just now trying to get the rhythm of I am just now getting the rhythm of things. And yeah, man, I just thought that I should share with you guys about how it was and how I coped. And at the end of the video, I will share a little bit of the stuff that helped me through it and some of the things that helped me cope with breastfeeding. My baby, who is now 5 months, has been exclusively breastfed ever since he was born. He was on formula for the first couple of days because my milk had not come in yet. Now, if anybody knows me, knows that when I was pregnant, I did tons and tons of research on what to expect as a new mom. But one thing that I think that I overlooked was breastfeeding. I think for me, growing up, I thought that breastfeeding was one of the most natural things to ever happen for a woman. It wasn't something that I really thought much about like I did with other things. I really thought that was just something that was going to happen naturally and I would not really struggle much with it. But boy, was I wrong. When Rue was born, I had not had my milk come in yet. I didn't know that for some women, your milk doesn't come in right away, that maybe it takes a couple of days or whatever. I thought that it was something that's going to happen automatically once you have a baby. When I was pregnant, I had decided that I didn't want my baby on formula for the first 6 months of his life. I wanted to exclusively breastfeed him. And when I had to make the decision to give him formula, it was really hard for me because it made me feel like I was disadvantaging him as a mom. I thought that I was an insufficient mother. Why wasn't I producing milk? Something that if I had done my research, I would have known that sometimes your milk doesn't come in right away, and that's okay. It doesn't make you a bad mom. It doesn't make you insufficient as a mom. It's just nature. That's just what happens. Sometimes it doesn't happen right away, especially if your baby is not full term. So it was normal that my milk had not come in yet, but I didn't know that. I didn't know that because I overlooked researching breastfeeding. So my pediatrician and my doctor and the midwives at the hospital after Rue was born advised me to have him latch onto my boob every couple of times a day so that he gets used to the latch of a boob and doesn't depend solely on the bottle, and also for it to communicate to my body that there is a need for my body to produce breast milk. And also there was a liquid that was coming out of my breast, which was a yellowish liquid, which is called colostrum. I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but something like that. And apparently it was good for the baby, and sometimes that's all that they need in those first few days because their stomach is really small and they don't need that much milk. But although I was producing colostrum, I doubt that it was enough. I don't think that it was enough for him to be completely full. So I did supplement with formula during those first few days. On the third day, my milk came in. And it was such a great time, and it was such an exciting time because it was exciting to see milk come out of my breast because that has never happened to me before. But what was tough was that my nipples were kind of sore now because baby boy had been sucking on my boobs. Although nothing was coming out, or only a little bit of colostrum was coming out, there was still pressure on my nipples, and my nipples were a bit sore and they felt really painful. So then I did start breastfeeding him exclusively. That is when he was completely off formula and started to breastfeed exclusively. So I breastfed him, and a couple of days later, it was now becoming really painful to breastfeed him because my nipples were super sore and they were starting to crack a little bit, and also they were starting to crack a little bit, and he was just really feed, and he was also feeding every 2 hours, because that's just how often newborns eat, because their stomach is really small, so they don't stay full for a long time. So he was eating every 2 hours so often that he wasn't really giving my breast an opportunity to recover. So it was so hard for me, because I just started dreading breastfeeding. Every moment that I had to breastfeed him, I would almost scream, because it was just so much pain when he did it. And he was a slow eater, so he really was the type of baby who would breastfeed for a while. And it was really, really hard on me those first few days. Those actually first few weeks of his breastfeeding, those first few weeks of him breastfeeding. And then during his 2 week appointment with the pediatrician, I talked to the pediatrician about it. I was like, it's a struggle, because my nipples are sore, and I'm really starting to think about maybe putting him off of the breast and just putting him on formula. It would have been the toughest decision for me to make, because it was just not in my plans for me to put him on formula. But it was excruciatingly painful for me to breastfeed him, that those thoughts started creeping in. So I talked to my pediatrician about it, and she told me that, it's surprising that you say that you are struggling with breastfeeding, because he's healthy, he's growing, his weight is going up, and he's well fed. Basically, that's what she meant. So most moms who come in and they talk about how they're struggling with breastfeeding, they usually have malnourished babies. Like, their babies are not healthy, and their babies are not growing, and they're not gaining weight. So it was very surprising to her that I was struggling so much with breastfeeding, and yet my baby was growing. So she encouraged me. She's like, I know that it's hard, and if you really, really need to either supplement with formula or put him on formula altogether, I completely understand that. But she completely encouraged me that the best thing that I could do for him was to just soldier on through it, and it will get better, because really it is never really easy in the beginning. She just was like, you know what, just soldier on, and you will eventually get the hang of it. So I felt they quite encouraged, and I was like, okay, so if my breasts are producing enough milk, then I guess, let me just soldier on through it and see if this will get better like she says it would. And she did also help me with Maru's latch. Something that I didn't know was that I had to put him over my whole, is it the areola? The dark part, instead of just on the nipple. So what I had been doing for 2 weeks or so was putting him on just the nipple. So that is why it was so painful, because he was sucking just on the nipple and putting so much pressure on it, and that's what makes it so painful. So she showed me how to properly latch him, so that it puts a little less pressure on the nipple, and it doesn't hurt as much. After that, I definitely saw a difference in the way that in the pain, and also the fact that he was getting fuller quicker. After a month or so, I started feeling a little better. It started not being too hard to breastfeed. I started feeling like, okay, so I started feeling the benefits of breastfeeding in terms of bonding and all of that stuff. I really did, but it was really, really hard that first month. I thought it was just, I really, really did think of just putting him on formula and just being like, you know what, maybe I'm just not the type of mom who breastfeeds. Maybe I'm not the type of mom who is set out to breastfeed. Maybe breastfeeding is just the journey for those super moms who just are able to endure the pain of breastfeeding. Because really, really for me, it was just not working out in those few weeks. I soldiered on through it, and right now, 5 months later, he's been exclusively breastfed since then, and he is doing so well. And I actually am thinking of stopping it at 6 months, but I'll see if I still want to do it. There's no harm in that. I'll go on up until the year, up until he's a year, so I don't know. I will see how that goes. Now, before I leave this video, I would like to share just a few things that helped me through the breastfeeding journey, helped me through that first month when breastfeeding was so horribly painful for me. And these are just some of the things that helped me through it. I will try to link them below so that you kind of know where to get them and also how much they may cost. But I will say that the link might be, the link will be leading to a South African website, because these are South African shops. They are here in Botswana, but they are South African. They are originally from South Africa, let me say that. So the websites, the prices are in the South African rand, so don't mind that. But if you, whatever price it is in rand, it's probably just about the same price in Pula. The very first thing that I want to talk about is this nipple cream. It is from Lensenor and it is amazing. It's just something that you just need as a breastfeeding mom. If at all you are pregnant or you just had a baby, then you definitely should put this on your shopping list or whatever. Or if you're pregnant, put it on your registry. It is very, very important. I particularly love this one from Lensenor because it is 100% natural and you don't have to wipe it off before breastfeeding because it won't harm the baby in any way. It's safe for the baby to ingest. That is why I love it. I actually bought this at Serurubele. It's a Serurubele Center. It's a baby shop. It is at the Fairgrounds Mall. It is just upstairs. When you are there, you can ask anybody who works at that mall and then ask them where Serurubele is. It's actually the same place where we did our birth classes at. So that is where I got this one. I actually have not seen it in any of the other shops. That's why I ended up going to get it there. So you can just check it there. It's absolutely amazing. Also, another fun fact, it's really, really good for your lips. That is why it's almost finished. I think I used it for like a month, but it looks like it's almost finished because I've been using it for my lips and it's amazing on your lips. It leaves your lips so soft. So yeah, that's a fun fact. Another thing I want to talk about is this beauty thing. It's a nipple shield. Basically, it's this nipple type thing which is made out of silicone. What it does basically is you put it on your nipple, over your nipple, and baby sucks on top of it. It really helps with putting pressure off of your nipple when baby sucks, especially when your nipple is cracked and it's really painful. It helps put pressure off of it and you won't feel that much pain. You won't feel that much pain. So yeah, you should get this. This particular one I got from Discam, and it is from the Pigeon brand, which I love the Pigeon brand when it comes to breastfeeding stuff. It's really great. So yeah. Another thing that I want to talk about is breast pads. If you are a breastfeeding mom or if you're planning to breastfeed, you need breast pads. Like, there is no way around it. There is no way by it, because what is going to happen is that your boobs are going to leak whether you like it or not. You could be in the mall or at the club or wherever you be at or whatever you do. If you are breastfeeding, you need pads so that your boobs don't leak and then make a whole embarrassment of yourself. These particular breast pads are my favorite because I've just found that they stick on better than the other ones that I've tried. I've tried the Timmy Toppy one, which were just the worst ones, guys. Like, whatever you do, if you want breast pads, just don't get the Timmy Toppy one. I know Timmy Toppy is a great brand for other things, but it just didn't work for the whole breast pads thing. It didn't work. It was just, ugh, no. So I suggest you get these ones, or you get the ones from Philip Avent, because those ones are also pretty great, but these are my favorite. Luckily, I got these were gifted to me, so I didn't have to buy them. I got a few boxes of these, and this is actually my last one because I used them a lot. I had to wear them also when I went to bed, because sometimes I would wake up in the morning and the bed would be soaked in breast milk, and I just figured, you know what, I need to wear them every single time, every single day, and I had to change them every other moment because there was a point when I had an oversupply. So I really, really needed this. Oh, these. Awesome. Another thing that I want to talk about is a nursing pillow. This pillow is amazing for breastfeeding, especially when your baby is still so small and he's a newborn. How this works is you put it around your waist like this. Yeah, you put it around your waist like this and basically prop baby and put baby on top of here. When the baby is up here, the baby is closer to your boob, so you don't have to bend over. I need to stop calling it boob. It's closer to your breast. That's more like scientific. Boob is very naughty. So it's closer to your breast, so you can breastfeed easily without having to bend over, and also having to lift your baby up to your boob. And also you are comfortable, you're able to be comfortable when you're breastfeeding. So it is really, really good, and baby is able to reach your breast with no problem and no fuss. So I really think this is great. Another thing I want to talk about is breast what do you call it? Feeding bras. Yeah, breast bras, feeding bras. Yeah, breastfeeding bras. Basically, I'm wearing one now. The difference between feeding bras and normal bras is that feeding bras have this snip thing where you can just unsnip and snip back like this, just for easy access to your breast. Sorry, just for easy access to your breast. I can get a nursing bra at Woolworths. That's where I got mine. I have two that are padded. This is the one that I'm wearing, the padded one, and I have two that are not padded, which are great when you are out and about and you need to breastfeed. It is very, very convenient, very, very easy. You don't have to worry about having a difficult time accessing your breast. So yeah, very, very simple. So you need those if you're going to breastfeed. And I also want to talk about this homeboy. This is literally my favorite thing, the holy grail. This is a breast pump. This breast pump is by Philips Avent. It is I mean, I don't think I would have been able to breastfeed this long if it wasn't for the breast pump, because I'm not always available to breastfeed at home. And also, sometimes I just, I know it's weird to say, but sometimes I just don't want to breastfeed. Sometimes I just want baby to take milk from a bottle and just give my boob a break, and for me to take a break. And sometimes I want dad to have an opportunity to breastfeed. Breastfeed. I want dad to have an opportunity to feed the baby and bond with the baby during feeding, and so that the baby doesn't solely depend on me when it comes to food. Doesn't look at me like food. Should know that there's other sources of food other than me. So a breast pump is very, very important. It's also very, very important when you're going back to work. When you're going back to work and you need to store up milk so that your baby can drink while you are not home, then this is very, 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 very essential to keep your baby on breast milk. That is obviously a choice. So I would really, really recommend that you get a breast pump if you're going back to work. Even if you're just gonna be home, just so that you can maybe spend a few hours away from the house, go have a drink with a friend, or go meet up with a friend, or go to date night, or anything really of that sort. You would really want a breast pump so that you can store some milk for baby when you are not available. Another thing which is optional is, of course, the feeding cover. Is it a nursing cover or a feeding cover? Just something to cover yourself up when you're feeding him in public or feeding your baby in public. But I just don't think that it's just something that I never got and I never had, because I've never really had a problem with whipping my boob out to feed my child. I don't see what the big deal is. If I'm in a restaurant and everybody's eating, my baby also has the right to eat. And also, I actually had a conversation with a friend of mine about this. Here in Botswana, I don't think breasts are that sexualized, or it's that big of a deal, because we grew up seeing our aunties and our moms just not giving when it comes to just not caring what people think when it comes to their breasts being out and all that stuff. And I grew up just seeing women breastfeed all over the place. Whenever there's a need to do it, they did it. So it's just not in our culture to sexualize breasts. But I know that in the Western culture, and sometimes we copy some stuff from the Western culture, and we end up just making it an issue for us, even though it's not a thing here in Botswana. But yeah, for me, I've never really had an issue with breastfeeding in public. When people stare, it's really not, I don't think it's the kind of stares that would make me uncomfortable or anything like that. But people rarely stare, really. I don't think I have any issues. I've ever had any issues where somebody is staring at me in a weird way or anything like that. Yeah. So if you have an issue with whipping your breast out, which I completely understand, not everybody's comfortable with that, you can get that, and it would be really, really helpful when you are breastfeeding. And also, buy clothes that make it easier for you to whip your breast out when you need to breastfeed, you know, like button down shirts. You can buy even button down vests and stuff. I have a few button down vests which have buttons here, which are actually really, really, really convenient when you're breastfeeding and when you're out. Same with shirts, just any type of shirt with a button, easy to whip your boob out. And a v-neck stuff, also just low cut stuff that really help you be able to reach your breast when you want to breastfeed, whether it's at home or in public or anything like that. Also, I just want to end this video by just saying that, guys, if you make a decision to put your baby on formula or anything like that, it absolutely is okay. It is not even, you are doing what's best for you. You're doing what's best for your baby. Just because I choose to breastfeed or the next person chooses to breastfeed does not make me any more of a better mom than the next person. No, 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 no. I understand that we are all dealing with different types of situations. Either your milk supply is not great, or your baby is not just not getting enough from the breast, or either you have to go back to work and you don't pump, or you just are not coping with the struggles of breastfeeding. It is absolutely okay to put your baby on formula, either to supplement feed or to completely put them on formula. The best thing that's best for your baby is that your baby is fed. So there is nothing wrong with doing things differently. We are all moms. We are all doing the best that we can for our babies. It does not matter what your baby is having, as long as your baby is fed and is healthy and everything is well. As far as your doctors and everything, then you are doing an amazing job. So don't compare yourself to the next mom. With that being said, thank you so much for watching my video. I hope you guys subscribe and like and show love. Also, if there's anything that you want me to talk about in my videos and any kind of topics that you want me to touch on, please leave a comment down below, and I will definitely look into it and share as much as I possibly can with you guys. I want to be a little bit of an open book. Obviously, you can't share everything about your life online, but I really, really want to be open and honest about my motherhood journey. Hi, hi, baby. Hello, baby. Hey, the drill is too real. The drip is too real. Say hi, everybody. Say hi, YouTube. Hi, baby. Apparently, we're not allowed to kiss them because of the whole coronavirus. But guys, how do you not kiss this face? Hi. Hi.